What is good, everybody, man? Thank you guys tuning in to another episode of One Big Fire. Got the boys in the house, got one on the boat, and while kind of everything's getting up live and going hot here, just want to throw out, man, we are less than 30 days away from one of my most favorite events, and also picking back one of the most important events that we've got that we're able to be a part of coming up next month in the land, as we are coming in hot to support Mr. Stasek and his rock and rescue event that he's been doing 8-9 years now, brother, and just a tremendous event at a great venue. Always exciting. We got some great talent coming in, but the whole thing is for even a bigger cause that I think is, really, really important. Really proud of you for what you do and the amount of money that you're able to raise and the amount of awareness to help make your part there with the Rock and Rescue event. And then obviously us piggybacking that with Agent to CEO. We've got some incredible speakers coming in for, that 2-day event. So all of the information that you guys might be looking for, being able to tap into, to get more details, get your tickets booked, agent to CEO, CLE.com. Not a marketing scarcity tactic. Although we have used those in the past, but this is legit this time. We only have the room only holds 100 people. I mean, it gets a little uncomfortable and a little awkward beyond that. So I know we're about halfway committed.
No, we got like 20 tickets left to sell at this point.
Oh, shit.
We have to cut it off. Yeah, because we have guests coming in. We have earmarked 100 total in the room. No more
including
than
us, that. Right? Including us.
Including us. So it's going to be super intimate. It's going to a lot of value. And you had said something earlier, John, about what we're doing for the charity. And yes, it's giving back has always been something that's been part of our core beliefs and values since I met you guys back in 2010. But the other thing that we need right now, and we're going to dip into a few real fiery topics right now, is we need to bring everyone together. I was on a recruiting call with some of our Canadian friends earlier this morning, and I was trying to explain to this large team that's considering coming over, what one of the magic sauces was to our success, and it was events. It's always been events. Mm-hmm. It could be events from EGS to masterminds to boot camps that we've hosted and put on. And we always say it's heavy. Jay was was in Cleveland for the baseball card and sports memorabilia national convention, and we were out on my back porch talking about, why do we keep doing this? It's a lot of work putting these events together. And we both came to the conclusion it's because it's the right thing to do. And why is it the right thing to do? Because we need to bring us together right now more than ever. We're seeing sides separated right here about how to offer a co-bro commission. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Everyone has their opinions. And it's also, it's starting to divide us. Mm-hmm. And so come to Agent to CEO. You're going to find your tribe there. If you're someone that loves to grow, if you have a desire to scale your business, make a big impact in your community and on other agents that you get to a point in your career where now it's time to start giving back and helping others succeed, this is the event that you need to be at.
100%. And you're so spot on. It is all about coming together and really, even with us changing the direction of this conversation that we have every week, right? Around One Big Fire. And, our fires burn, bigger and brighter when we come together, and it's a really important, and also understanding, why things are being divided. So I'm excited to jump in and let's rock. Let's dive.
Let's get it. Yeah. So we got a couple of topics we're going to hit on here, and we're going to circle back and hit on each one. But the first we want, we're going to talk about Gary Keller came out and he had his what was it called? Mega Camp. So this is where a lot of the top teams in the world get together. I heard it's a great event. I've never been to it, but a lot of leaders all in one room. And Gary told them to shut up and get to work. That was his message to the group. I read that in Inman. I didn't make that up. We're also going to talk a little bit about our Michigan friends decided that they were going to make a stance and sue the MLSs and NAR for unfairing, forcing them to become members or be members to just get MLS access. So we have some opinions on that as well. And then, of course, everyone's new favorite friend or enemy, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it, Michael Ketchmark, the plaintiff's attorney in this massive settlement that's taken place over the last year, interviewed with Inman. I don't know if you guys read it. I read the whole thing, and I have some opinions that I want to share on what I read. So without further ado, let's kick it off, boys.
Let's go.
So, John, love your opinion on. So let's start with Mr. Keller. Obviously, he's one of the biggest leaders in our industry. He changed the industry when he grew Keller Williams, and the quote, is kind of funny. He kind of starts out by saying, I have a different opinion than most when it comes to how to move forward post settlement, and my opinion is shut up and get to work. And I read that and I thought to myself, when you look at the leaders, our leadership with Glenn and Leo Pareja and many of the other leaders that are stepping up and actually offering value to their agents, making sure that they're comfortable, making sure they feel safe, making sure they know what to say, what not to say, and how to operate. We did 4 trainings throughout the entire state of Ohio with our broker team. They hit the road. It was called the road show. You guys know about road shows. We've all done them. And our brokers really, they pulled up their sleeves, got in their vehicles, and drove all over the state and did multiple Q&As and trainings on how to operate. And I don't remember them once telling us to shut up. And it's a good thing they didn't, because the truth is our agents had genuine questions. They were focused. We've been to like lots of trainings and you see, agents are looking at their phones and they're here and there. No, these agents were laser beam focused. They were ready to learn and how to practice correctly so they don't end up in another lawsuit or issues and get in trouble with their license. And I just thought it was interesting. Another Gary Keller moment.
Yeah. It doesn't I think you got to go into context of who the individual is and what they're saying. Gary's, what's his motive, his intent. He wants to be polarizing. Definitely it's about Gary, and we're all entitled to our opinion. And in some sense of what he said, okay, right? I can be on both sides of the fence with Gary on this one. And where I kind of step back and, he's just not going to be empathetic, right? That's not him. That's not his character. So for you as a leader, finding, that balance of who you are and what is your style, right? We're talking about leadership. We have leadership styles, and that's more of his style. And there's different styles, right? That work. I would unpack and take it in a little bit of different context of, okay, I need to know what I need to know from a real estate agent perspective, right? So this is my opinion on it. I think, where do you have to focus and give your time and your energy? And so when we look at most real estate agents, most salespeople, we're project people, right? We need the variety. We need to get things done. That's why we love the chase, the transaction, the negotiation. And, but our downfall is we don't know where to focus, right? We get priority confusion, we get focus confusion. And so we need leaders to help lead the path and guide the way of what we need to be paying attention to and focusing on. So from a leadership perspective, I think there needs to be a level of empathy. I think you need to be who you are, but also as a reminder of, okay, I need to know this as a real estate professional, but then I need to get back to what grows my business, which is marketing, which is sales, which is leadership, which is, all of the things that it takes to truly be successful and not get lost over here just because I'm trying to be a better real estate agent. But from your question to my opinion on Gary's take, it's Gary, right? It doesn't surprise me in the least of what he says. So, but that's his style.
Yeah, we all got our own style. Jay Kinder is one of those iconic professionals that has his own style.
Some like it, some don't. I'm gonna do Gary a solid and say that if I was to guess, Inman probably took that a little out of context. There probably was more said than just that, but that was their takeaway.
Yeah.
Which some people that may inspire, and some people might scare. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean, if you read, I know we're gonna get into this, but like this whole Ketchmark guy. I mean there's so many people that are still trying like hell to get around this. And I just think they're setting themselves up for serious lawsuits. Like, this is not hard to fix. It's not.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
It's the right way.
You guys want to dip right into the Ketchmark?
Let's do it.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Well, so the interview in Inman that they did, first of all, I'll start out by saying this. He dodged things beautifully, just like a politician, like a polished politician. Almost every question that he asked, he wouldn't answer. And I think I understand why. He said it toward the end of the interview, is that Inman would say, for instance, there's a lot of agents that are trying to advertise their buyer's agent commission offering on their websites, or they're trying to do this or whatever. And what do you think about that? And he won't really take a stance on anything. And the reason he said he's not taking a stance is because real estate agents will then see what his stance is on that and then interpret how they should follow the settlement by what he says. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you're the one that filed the lawsuit and fought for this. You agreed, I'm assuming, to the terms of the settlement, before the judge stamps it in November or whatever. So why wouldn't you? But this is just a chess move. This is a chess move on his part. He ain't going to tell you what to do. He expects us to interpret it, which is why we're ensuing in the shit show we're in right now. Half of the nation thinks we should do it one way. Half thinks we should do it the other way. He's loving it because this is just another opportunity to file more lawsuits, which he clearly states right in that interview. We have teams.
Nothing would make him happy.
They're just looking at all the threads on social media. They pay people to just look at all these threads on social media, from lab coat agents to you name it. They got spies everywhere, and they're just looking. They're looking for the agents who are, I got this figured out. I'm gonna offer it this way, and I'm gonna offer it that way. The other thing he said about brokers that are offering it, because according to the settlement, Inman stated it's not prohibited to offer the buyer's agent commissions outside of the MLS. And here's what he said. It may not state that specifically in the settlement, but that doesn't mean that it's not actionable. It was crazy. Like, there's so much left into the gray. It was almost like when they were negotiating this settlement, they left enough gray to file some more lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I think that's exactly what they did. You got to think his interest is not in the public. This is not making it better for buyers, better for sellers, better for agents. His only goal is to make money in lawsuits. So you got to listen, twice, first to what's being said and then who's saying it. And, I just feel like the only goal that they have is to continue to file lawsuits. And I think they, this settlement was done in such a way that it gave them plenty of gray area to file more lawsuits on. And so, yeah, I think, it's fascinating. I love it. Actually love it. It's fun. It's fun to see all these different, but I do want, we talked about it the other night. Al, you texted me like 1:00 in the morning. I was ready to go live and be like, man, somebody's got to help these damn agents because they're going to end up messing this all up. Somebody's got to step up and do the right thing and train agents on how to stay out of lawsuits, because these companies are they're going to get sued. And there's a lot of people you can try to. Here's one thing I've learned about the law: you're better off not trying to interpret it to what you want it to be. You're better off trying to do everything you can to make sure that it can't be interpreted as you did something wrong. And there's no reason to do business that way.
I mean, by the nature of our business, we're problem solvers. So think about, the millions of real estate agents that just saw this problem that just hit us like a 2x4, because I'm sure that 80% of agents didn't believe that they were going to win that lawsuit. And sure enough, the plaintiffs won. And now they're like, oh shit, now what? We got a problem to solve. Well, we can solve it like this. Let's just hang riders off our signs. Let's make the price of the house. I saw this one. Someone said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the price of the house. Let's say it's like $500,000 home. They're going to make it $500,000, $1 or, $2.50, right? At the end. Like that was what they're going to basically do. Like that was the bat signal.
Right.
I mean, their asses are going to get sued and lose. It just
if you get bottom line, if you get sued, you lose. Like that's you got to defend yourself, and they got deep pockets. So if you get sued, you lose. You don't win that lawsuit. You lose. You're going to spend a bunch of money. So
now their pockets are even deeper.
I saw a TikTok or Instagram where an agent, they had they opened up the lockbox and a little card popped out that said 3%. They were like,
yeah. So going back to the goal though, and again, you guys really have a chance, reread that article. I saw this mentioned several times, especially at the beginning of the article when he was being questioned, is that at least the way he is communicating right now, that his number one goal was to reduce the amount of commissions that sellers and buyers are paying to realtors, or specifically sellers, excuse me. Like that's been his goal the entire time.
Fleecing. He used the word fleecing. We've been fleecing.
All right. So, listen, they're trying to depress our fees at the same time inflating theirs. This is not a conversation that I want to take in the direction of, well, attorneys charge 30% and blah, blah, blah. And look, the settlement was 1.8 billion or whatever it was, but you have to times it by 3. Mm-hmm. Do you know why they times it by 3?
I didn't know why. Why is that?
To pay the attorney. So it doesn't come out of the class actions pocket. It's to pay the law firm. So that's how they ended up with a $400 million fee or whatever they earned on that, $500 million. So
who's fleecing who?
That's the point. But kind of in moving forward, we can be mad all we want. Our feelings don't matter.
Nope.
At the end of the day, we talked about winners and losers, and winners focus on where they're going. Losers focus on where they were, and where we're going right now is something that you, John, Michael, Wally, back in 2010, 11, created the certified home buying program, CHBA, to certify agents on how to, there it is right there, on how to articulate their value and get their fee and have what you guys called it the best, have buyers running red lights to meet with you.
Right.
When you're looking back, Jay, that was 14 years ago that you guys wrote that. And we were talking about this. It took you 18 months to build that program.
Right.
Tell us, how you guys are kind of seeing this now. Is like, yeah, we've been teaching this for 14 years.
Right.
How to articulate your value to get a buyer's agent agreement signed at your fee and your terms.
Yeah. So let me say something a little bit controversial. I will say that of the 1.4 million real estate agents that are out there, probably 1.3 million of them charge more or get paid more than what they're actually worth in value. That's actually, I think that's probably a fair statement, maybe a little aggressive, but the agents that understand and actually add value are worth far more than what they get paid. So, the whole purpose of the certification and NAEA and everything that we were doing was for the agents that are actually professionals and actually add value and actually are doing the best possible job they can for the consumer are absolutely worth, they're worth what they get paid. And I just believe that the agents that are doing business that way are going to be the ones that end up with the lion's share of the business, and the ones that don't are going to be out of business. And this goes back to Dan Kennedy's comment. I believe there'll be a Darwinian thinning of the herd in real estate. I don't believe commissions are going to go down, not by much. They will with a handful of agents that on average sell 3 homes a year. Like, we've had for as long as I've been in the business, it's been between 3 and 8 homes a year on average. I pulled up the MLS and DFW one time, and it was like there was something like 55% of agents didn't sell a home out of 30-something thousand agents. That's, they just don't have enough experience to be helping people negotiate the largest thing, investment people are going to make in their lifetime. And so, I on some parts of this, I tend to agree that, some agents aren't worth what they get paid, and others are. And I think the ones that are going to win in this environment are going to be the ones that have adopted, the positioning and understanding of how to articulate their value to the consumer and consumer. And for me, I already know, it'd be real simple. Listen, I already know I'm a better negotiator than the other agent. So it's real simple. Here's what we charge. We charge 3%. And we're going to ask for the seller to pay my compensation. And I guarantee I'll get it paid, or I'll do it for free. That would be my offer in the marketplace. And I'm going to win that every single time. I will out negotiate the other agent, period. And so, that's, at the end of the day, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for agents to, now you can't pretend anymore. You can't just put them in the car and hope they like you. Can't do that anymore. So your best bet is to be somewhere where you're being trained like a Navy SEAL, and we just happen to train Navy SEALs, so we're in a good position to help those people.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, man.
Before you go in that, we're not suggesting that anyone charge a certain percentage amount by that comment, because that would be antitrust. But we were using this as an example, a hypothetical example. You hear that, Michael? Okay, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Yeah, it goes back to kind of my point a little bit earlier, in that, it's never the best real estate agent that wins. And I think, understanding, what's changed in the game and needing to know that, but then it's time to get over and focus on becoming world-class at marketing, become world-class at sales, right? Like, if you want to run a test on it, let's say, Jay, you focus on marketing for a year. Al, you focus on sales for a year. And we get 2 other people. Somebody's focused on leadership. Somebody's focused on negotiation. And that 5th person is focused on being a best real estate agent. Who do you think is going to have the most revenue and most profit at the end of the 12 months? It's not going to be the best real estate agent at all. They'll probably be in 5th place.
Right.
So you got to know enough to play the game, but you got to focus on the things. And to the point, and it's just like, we can't beat this in anybody's head enough. In the absence of value, people question price. Value unarticulated is value unappreciated. And if you don't understand your value to solve your ideal client's problem, because remember, all they want is a result. What do sellers want? Sellers want a buyer. What do buyers want? They want the home that they want, on the terms that they want, in the payment that they want, and don't confuse it for anything else. And it's like, okay, well, how do I articulate my value at whatever the opportunity is in the market? And that constantly changes, right? I was thinking about this the other day, because when we rode through 7, 8, 9, 10 with the short sales, there was really, in our market, there was really only 2 opportunities at the time. It was new build and it was short sales. Mm-hmm. Well, think if you're a buyer's agent and you got to work buyers for short sales. How do you get compensated? How do you get how do you articulate your value? And I think that's where just real estate agents have to go is okay, who is the ideal, what's the real opportunity in today's market, which I believe is a motivated seller. First and foremost, you need to go to bed. You need to wake up thinking about it. Motivated sellers. What do they want? And what is my value to help them get what they want? And in right things, right order, man. I think it's so important for real estate agents right now because there's so much noise, so much and it's like I said, kind of lean into what Gary's saying a little bit, right? Get out of the noise, get out of the distractions, get out of the narrative, and focus on the things within your control for you to be the best version of you and to grow your business. So that's my take. And that's what CHBA, that's what CHSA, that's what it's all about, right? It's identifying the real opportunity in today's market. What is your value and how do you articulate and deliver that value?
Mm-hmm. By the way, go to honeybadgernation.com. If you're part of EXP Realty, you can get that membership for free. If not, you can DM us and we'll tell you how you can get a hold of those courses, and they're extremely valuable, and they changed my business and my life and my agents as well. So excellent. So you had said something that value unarticulated is value unappreciated, which kind of like moves us right into our next topic about our Michigan brokers and agents who are suing NAR right now. And I believe that this has been a long time coming. Obviously, now the window's been open for more of this. I believe there's going to be copycat lawsuits that are going to be happening of other brokers and associations in other states, basically suing the NAR for forcing them to have a membership to be part of an MLS. Now, my MLS here, like in Northeast Ohio, and actually the whole east side of Ohio, all the way down to the south, that shares MLS Now. They actually don't have to be a member because of the way that our MLSs are owned here in Ohio, but others, they have to be a member of NAR. And it goes back to what you had just said, John, about, for how many years have we said that NAR they do a lot of amazing things with lobbying for, homeowner rights and real estate agent rights and stuff like this, more homeowner rights than anything. They're really not out there fighting. I don't remember them ever fighting for our commissions, as they shouldn't have to. We have to articulate our own value. The association shouldn't have to do that for us. That's what we have NAEA for, right? Showing us how to articulate the value. But NAR has failed, I believe, in a big way of articulating their value, so that agents, they should be excited to be members of that association other than just having a pass to the MLS. Beyond that, I believe that's why these lawsuits. So the question is, guys, would that be something that if it came to your hometown and you had the opportunity to jump on a class action lawsuit, would you?
Well, I think, and I haven't thought enough about this. Probably. It's a great question. I'm not interested in jumping into lawsuits necessarily, but what I would say is that, the Realtor brand is not differentiated. And that's the problem. Anybody that can pass that test can become a member of NAR. There is no differentiation amongst realtors. We're looked at just barely above used car salesmen if you look at the consumer index for how they look at a real estate agent. And that's because they wanted the membership, so they had the vote, so they had the leverage to keep other people out of the industry. And they did some things over the years to help real estate agents in the past and protect the industry and our little monopoly, or whatever he wants to call it, of fleecing buyers and sellers. It's not true, but that's their positioning. So, I could care less if I'm a member of NAR. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's no value in being a realtor at all. It's just there's no bar set. The bar's too low for it to have any real meaning. So, I don't particularly care for it. So I don't know that I would.
If the bar was set too high, that would cut out more than half of the membership. I'm
okay with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Well, I still think buyers and sellers need representation. They need to have an agent that's negotiating on their behalf, that's knowledgeable and professional, and that understands not just how to articulate, but how to deliver on that value. And I think you're better off having a real estate agent in your corner. Nothing has disrupted. Everyone's tried to disrupt the industry. We used to run the CB Insights on how much money was being poured into companies from 2015 and 16. It was billions and billions of dollars of these huge companies like Zillow trying to replace the real estate agent with technology and with low fee. You got Redfin coming in and giving half the commission back. That's not what the buyer's looking for. And so it's an interesting. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I have a feeling it will be less real estate agents ultimately in the business, And I don't know what's going to happen with NAR. I don't, they haven't convinced me why I should be a member.
Well, they need the money, man. They need the money. That's it. That's why it's so low. And they need the money. Follow the money, right? I mean, that's just why area of interest so low to get into real estate, which is done a disservice to the entire industry. And
let me tell you what we don't want. Okay. Let me tell you what buyers and sellers don't want, and they don't even know it exists. But I get to see it every day here in Puerto Rico. And that's, you do not want there to not be an MLS, because it is the damn wild, wild west where you don't have some form of uniformity to what's going on in the marketplace. When you don't know what sales data and you don't have access to sales data, and you're a buyer and you're in a marketplace and prices are here and there and everywhere, and agents are hip pocketing listings, and you got to have 10 real estate agents to see all the properties because they don't put signs in the yards. Like, don't leave it up to the real estate agent, because they will lie, cheat, and steal. Like, it's absolutely there. You can't, you have to have MLS. It's the one thing that keeps us doing the right things. And so for that purpose, NAR has executed well on that. But, I'd like to have an MLS. Don't necessarily know that it has to be, a part of NAR.
Yeah. I mean, we have to have, like you had said, we have to have law and order, and, even down to like NAR's, they have the code of ethics, and that doesn't exist just for a real estate agent that's not part of that. So there is, I believe, a heightened level of professionalism that's expected to be a member of NAR, which is why they have ethics. They have the ability to file ethics complaints, which, by the way, I think the people that are on those ethics boards locally better strap on and get ready, because they're about to be busy. I'm excited in a sense of what the next 18 months is going to look like, because we embrace change, because we look at it as an opportunity to grow. What I'm not looking forward to is good brokers and agents who are out there trying to do the right thing, and they get sued and potentially lose their business over it, because it's clear as mud how, the right way to navigate forward. I do believe that with the leadership that we have with Leo, and that he's setting the path of the right way to go, I do 100% believe that. But that's my interpretation. And right. I'm open to being wrong, and even debating someone that believes that, we should just be putting a buyer's agent offering of commission on our website, like some of our competitors are doing right now. And
now,
it's funny.
One thing that you and I talked about last week, I want to kind of bring this up, because I think it goes a little bit deeper, and it's what you said the beginning of the conversation around, a big divide, right? And really what's happening, and it comes back to, from an emotional intelligence, from an empathetic standpoint, to really understand. And remember, we're dealing with human beings, and so when you've got another human being that is being like off the reservation and being just really, difficult to deal with, it's the whole smoke and fire. And what they're putting out is just a ton of smoke. And if you stay in the smoke, you're going to get choked out. That's what happens, right? Most people don't die from burns. They die from smoke inhalation. So if you stay in the smoke, you're going to get choked out, right? You're going to get in the smoke with these other brokers, with these other agents that are just mean and angry and hateful. And you got to kind of step back and get out of the smoke and get down into what's causing the fire, right? So it's a human need that's not being fulfilled. And the human need right now for real estate agents that's not being met is they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe financially. And you look at where we're at from a seasonal perspective, a lot of agents have burned their pipeline. They've closed deals. Now, the professionalism, the expertise, the being able to articulate your value has changed. And they don't have deals. They don't have deals in the pipeline. And so human behavior kicks in, and their safe mechanism, they don't feel safe, and they don't feel safe financially. So as another agent that has your shit together, that is executing on deals, doing the things that you need to do, like, you can't get caught up in another person's smoke. So I think, to your point, what you said earlier on, bro, and you're so spot on, is like, man, don't get caught up in anybody's smoke. Step back, get to the fire, be empathetic in the situation. And we've said it, for the last 6 months, right? I truly believe that you have to lead every situation, and you have to lead everybody in every situation. You have to lead your clients. You have to lead the other agent. You have to lead the inspector, the title, the appraiser, the lender, the attorneys. Like, it's your burden. You have to carry that burden right now as a true expert and a true advisor moving into the future, right? Everybody's starting to get their crystal balls out. What does it look like moving into the future? What does it look like in 25? All the business dynamics, but first and foremost is that you have to take on the responsibility that you have to lead every interaction, every transaction, everything through. If not, you're going to get choked out because you're going to fall into the smoke.
Great analogy.
Yep. Well, this is a fiery show. No pun intended. It is the One Big Fire podcast. And we are committed to bringing the most up-to-date content. Of course, you're going to hear our opinions. We're always open to being, wrong and challenged in the way we're thinking. I know that, frankly, I flip-flopped on, a few things after the settlement has all come out. And, I've gotten on the phone with multiple people last week who they fundamentally believe, in sort of the opposite way of conducting business moving forward. And I listen to them with respect. And, a lot of these people, I mean, they're great humans, very smart business people. And I have respect. It doesn't mean that I'm going to agree 100%, but some of them have started to see it our way a little bit. And I believe that we have to keep our minds open, both, even us. Everyone has to keep open minds. If I didn't have my mind opened, I wouldn't have been able to really see the light on how we're coaching and training our agents. Speaking of that, if you're going to be in Cleveland next week, we are doing a training on scripts, dialogues, what to say when you're meeting with a seller, if they give you objections in this new post-settlement era moving forward. It's going to be at Icon Co-work in Lakewood, Ohio. DM me and I'll send you. It's free. We're going to have some charcuterie and adult beverages afterwards. So come join us. I believe it's at 3 p.m. next Tuesday in Lakewood. So if you hear this, slide in my DMs and I'll get you an invite.
Love it. You guys are awesome. Great conversation and really, embody what the whole One Big Fire, concept is around. And, we're great burning alone, but when we come together, man, it's unstoppable. So appreciate you guys.
See you at the top.
Or from the top.